what it is, what's happening. So I made a video this morning for the channel, and I don't know what happened. It got lost on this crummy phone. I do 90% of my videos from the phone, and it's got it locked up in the iPhone editor, and it will not load. So I deleted it, and we're going to start over, and hopefully I'll remember most of the content that I wanted to share with you guys today on the channel. So first thing I'm going to start with that I remember was what I was doing last night with our 88 Bronco project, because I know a lot of guys have been asking what's going on in the Bronco. Well, here's where I'm at with it. All the brakes are done, and last night I was in the process of putting the new emergency brake cables on, and all the bracketry for the emergency brake, the bracket on the frame, and this one that's painted silver now, we're all crusty and nasty. So I thought, well, I'm putting new cables on. I want this stuff cleaned up. I want to clean the adjustable rod up, put some never sees on it, get it working. Took all that stuff apart, cleaned it up, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to put some of the silver paint on it that I always use on my rusty metal projects. I've been using this paint for years. I know I say years, years. I've talked about it before on the channel. It's called Mastercoat. The silver is the one you want. They do make some other colors, but the silver is the best for rusty metal. So here's what happened. It's going to be a simple little evening of going to paint a few little parts. Go grab the can off the shelf. Now this can I'd had previously opened, and I knew the lid was going to give me some trouble because I even had it saved inside of a Ziploc bag because I didn't feel the lid sealed very well. Well, I was wrong. The lid sealed really well to where I had to destroy the lid and the top of the can to get it out. Now I've talked about that before. You want to try to, if you're using a product right out of the can, you want to try not to get it on here. Well, obviously the last time I did, I got it on there. So I destroyed the can. This can was half full. This stuff's almost $60 a quart. So I didn't want to waste it. So I'm like, You know, here it is, 9 o'clock, I decided to start this project. So I searched around, and you know, since I just moved in here, I'm still putting stuff away and finding stuff. I do keep extra quart cans around so that when this happens, I can pour it in another can and seal it up. Most of the time I put tape on this if I'm using it out of the can. Don't know how this one got messed up. I must have been lazy and just didn't do it. It happens. It is what it is. So I wanted to use the rest of the can. So I decided that I'm going to just run a wire wheel across the outside of these frame rails, these springs and whatnot, and just glob it on there. That way it'll have some protection on it and hopefully won't get rustier down the road, which was fine. Now I did have a video of it earlier where everything was painted silver. I am just going to leave the brake drums silver. They actually turned out really nice. We'll leave them silver. But I did all the frame rail, all on both sides. It turned out really nice. We'll get to the tailgate here in a second. So this morning I ran out and got a couple cans of chassis black, and I just blew it over top of the silver, so it looks nice and clean. You know, is it the right way to prep something? Probably not. But I've done this exact same prep work in the past with really, really good results. This stuff is amazing. Like I said, there is some other companies out there. You got Eastwood make some stuff called Rust Bullet, but believe it or not, they got their idea from this guy. This guy's been around a lot longer than Eastwood's been selling that Rust Bullet crap. If you prep this stuff like they tell you to, it's got an over 25-year lifespan. It's amazing stuff. Now, when I'm doing like a floorboard, or like I'm going to do these here, I'm going to replace this, and I'm going to replace this inner structure right here that attaches to that. I have not bought that. I do have this for both sides. When I do these repairs, I will prep all that stuff correctly. I will put Mastercoat on all the parts when I put it together. You can actually weld through that stuff as well. So all that'll get coated with Mastercoat, 2 coats, and you know, I'll do it correctly on that. But this was kind of like, I don't want to waste a product. Let's just half-ass clean the frame up, put the silver on there. Believe it or not, this will hold up really, really well, just the way it is. So it brings me to this tailgate, which I want to show you guys. So the tailgate, I took my little biscuit tool a little Mac biscuit tool. It's got a little 36 grit disc on it. I grinded all the flaky rust and metal off. You can see it's got a hole here, got a hole there, and they're going to stay there. All I did was grind it off, and I put 2 coats of this Mastercoat paint on here. Now, I live at the beach. The beach is that away a few miles. So actually straight across the street is the bay. That's how close I am to the ocean. So I've got all the worst conditions, and I'm on the East Coast. So I've got all the right conditions for stuff to rot out. This is going to be a little experiment that I'm going to share with you guys, because today is April 15th. We're going to revisit this tailgate, I don't know, November, beginning of December. I'll do a video on it. Guarantee you it'll still look just like this. Maybe a little dirty, but it'll look like that. It's a really good product. So, let me take you outside. I want to show you this other truck real quick. So this is my 86 Toyota 4Runner. You can see here, that's clearly just rotted out. A lot of times there'll be some left in the can or left on the brush. I'll come out to one of these hundreds of projects and I'll just brush it on. This has been on there 2 years. And that spot up there, none of this was prepped. I didn't even take a grinder to it. That's jagged, rusty metal. And I globbed that stuff in there, and it's been like that for a couple of years. So my point is, you can clearly see that the rust hasn't bled through any of the paint, and it hasn't gotten any rustier. It's the same rust hole that it was when I bought this truck. It's a good product. You know, I'm not affiliated with them. I do know the owner. I do talk to him. He's given me a couple products here and there to try. I've got some product from him that we're going to try here on my tow truck. It's the silver paint with a product you add to it that's for sound deadening and helps reflect the heat. So we're going to give that a try, but we're going to use it in a tow truck. But really, really good stuff. Years ago, I say years ago, it's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I had a 64 Falcon. This little Falcon was actually a nice little car. It was a 2-door hardtop V8 car, fun little car to drive, but it had a vinyl top. Somebody else had removed the vinyl top, so it had rust holes on the corner of the roof. It was a nice car, but it wasn't a car that you're going to put a roof on, and it wasn't a car you were going to junk or part out. You know, it was kind of like, what do you do with it? Now, this is the absolute wrong repair that I did to the car, but it did hold up. Now, I cut the rust out, which was maybe the size of my hand on each corner. Cut the rust out. I made a new piece. I mixed up some panel bond, put some panel bond on it, put it up from the inside. I pop riveted it in. Now, the reason I didn't weld it was the roof was thin. So I knew I was just going to burn holes through it. And I didn't want to get into all that. I didn't want to have to worry about burning the windshield or possibly setting the car on fire because the car had interior in it. Did not have a headliner in it, so that was easy to work around. Panel bonded and pop riveted it in. Then what I did was, I'd already sanded. Wow, I just took a biscuit tool and a wire wheel and wire wheeled the roof. The entire roof was rusty and pitted real bad, just like the back of this tailgate. I brushed on 2 heavy coats of that silver paint. And the reason I brushed it on was because I could take it right out of the can without thinning it, putting it on fairly heavy to fill a lot of the rust pits in. Again, that's a moisture curing paint, so it gets rock hard. So, did that. I did my body work on top of that. So I tiger haired it, body filler with strand in it. I went ahead and did that, did my final mud coat, sanded it all out, got it straight. It looked great. Put a primer sealer on it, and I called it a day. 3 years later, it still looked good. Primer was a little faded from the sun, but there was no rust bleeding through. A lot of times you'll see guys put primer on a car and put it outside, and you'll see rust already coming through. Primer does not hold. People think primer holds rust down. Primer's porous. It absorbs like a sponge. But that silver paint does not. It holds it. I know there's going to be some body guys in the comments that are going to be, oh, it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. I understand. The absolute way I fixed the roof of that car was the absolute wrong way. But at the end of the day, it wasn't worth putting a roof skin on. I wasn't going to put a roof skin on that car. It just wasn't, I just wanted to fix the holes so it didn't look like a pile of crap and so that it didn't get wet inside the car, because that was what was happening. It was getting wet because whoever made the patches on top, they were horrible and they leaked. They leaked real bad, but they leaked. So I didn't want the floors in the car were good, and I didn't want the floors to fall apart. It did have some rust in one of the torque boxes, but who cares? Drive it. That's all it was. In fact, when I sold the car, I told the guy that that's how I fixed the roof. I said, it is what it is. You want to fix it correctly, it is, that's on you. But that's how I'm selling the car. That's how I had it. And at the end of the day, what cracks me up with a lot of these guys with these project cars, they spend thousands and thousands of dollars on body work and all this crap just to get rid of the car a few years down the road. This truck, I am not going to paint. We are going to fix the rust around the wheel well because I don't want it to get any worse. And I don't want to walk past it and catch my shirt on it or something. So I do want to fix that rust. It does have some rust here, right there. It's got a little spot. Let's see, right there. It's got a spot in the floor. Now this truck being an XL, this truck has no options. So we have roll-up windows, cheap vinyl door panels. We don't even have the carpet on the bottom. We've got vinyl floor. We've got bench seat. Yes, the bench seat's ripped, but we have a bench seat. No tilt wheel, 306 cylinder with a 3-speed automatic trans, which is a C6. We do have air conditioning on a Bronco that the top comes off of. Zero options, zero. So this is a perfect truck. Now, I've talked before on the channel what I'm going to do with this truck. We're going to lose the mat front to back. We're getting rid of it. So we'll fix the floor. And we'll probably sand and paint the whole floor with Mastercoat silver with the sound deadener. And it's a sound deadener and some kind of heat stuff that you mix in with the paint. And he said you can just put it on a roller. He said some guys are spraying it, but they like it, at the end of the day, it's a product that you're going to put on. You want to put on a little heavy. And normally it would be underneath of a rug or a mat or something like that. So we'll do it that way. Because this truck's going to eventually, there'll be no top, and eventually there'll be no doors. Right now we're just concentrating on getting the brakes done so we can go get it tagged. Then we're going to bring it back in the shop. We're going to put our 6-inch lift on and order up some 35, 1250 15s. And we're going to rock it with a 6-cylinder for a while. But we got a 90 F250 out back, and it's got a 460 with a ZF 5-speed. And that's what's going to go in this truck. Is 460 with a ZF 5-speed. Is it going to be good on gas? Hell no. But is it going to be fun to drive? Oh yeah, be fun. So that's where I'm at with the Bronco project. I had a lot of other stuff to do today. I was a little upset about the video earlier because I had a lot of stuff on there. I had to go out and get the car trailer. The car trailer, see, it's April. I moved in here the 19th of December was when I bought this place. The 2-post lift that's supposed to go in the shop is still on the car trailer. So I had to get that off the car trailer, stack it up out back behind the garage. So I'm not ready to put it up in here just yet. I don't have enough help to help stand it up is my biggest problem. I'll get some help down here one day. We'll get it stood up and get our 220 run over to it. But we're still working on the shop. I've got a good bit of the walls up. As you can see, I don't have any walls there. We're insulating, putting the ceiling up. I got to finish putting the ceiling up, and then I got to do the other side. And we'll do some blown-in insulation and stuff. So still got a lot of work to do in the shop. I just been a little lazy. I work on it, then I don't work on it. Then I come out here and piddle with this, then I don't. But tomorrow, we're going after another J10 Jeep pickup. I know a lot of guys that joined the channel want to see some Jeep stuff. There is some Jeep stuff coming up. I've talked before that we ended up with this Wagoneer that used to be an old race Jeep. It's got a small block Chevy in it. It's supposed to run really good. I don't know. We haven't had time to fool with it. But it was a race Jeep at one time. It's 100% gutted. We are going to do some content on this truck. A couple weeks ago, I bought a J10 Jeep pickup for parts for that Wagoneer. But the pickup is actually really decent, and I don't have the heart to cut it up because these Jeep pickups are so hard to find. Well, we just happened to be at a buddy's house up in Oxford, PA a couple weeks ago, and we're sitting around chewing the fat, and he says, you know what, I got a buddy of mine, he's got a Jeep pickup he wants to sell. Great, just what I need. Another project. Send me some pictures. Sends me some pictures. It's not a bad looking truck. It's all stock, V8, four-wheel drive, J10 Jeep pickup. So tomorrow, hooking the trailer to the new truck, and we're going to go up to PA. I'm going to guess, he says it's an hour from his house. He's 2 hours from us. Well, it's a 3-hour ride for me and 3-hour ride home, I guess. So there's all the day shot in the ass for tomorrow. But we're going to go try to make a deal on this truck and bring it home. Now, some of you guys might ask, why am I buying a Jeep pickup? This looks like mostly a Ford channel. You know, it does look like a Ford channel. I do cater to these trucks. I enjoy these trucks. From 1980 to 1997, these are absolutely my favorite truck, Broncos or pickups. But I do like other stuff. I do own other stuff. I've got a 60 Chevy Apache pickup. Of course, I got the little Toyota. Got a couple old Chevy Wreckers. And now I got some Jeeps. I want to do some of these Jeep events that they have around here at the beach. Problem is, they're Jeep only. They will not open it up to Broncos. I've tried talking to some of these guys. I'm like, look, Broncos and Jeeps really go together. Especially with the new Bronco out. I think you guys are kicking yourself in the ass by not letting Broncos join a lot of these Jeep events. But some of these Jeep guys are just jerks. I want to use another word, but we're going to leave it at that. In fact, my girlfriend took the other Bronco today to a Jeep show. She's a vendor. She sells a lot of stuff at Jeep shows. So she used the other Bronco today because it's just a lot easier to load all the stuff in. And would you believe somebody gave her a hard time because there's a Bronco parked at the Jeep show? Oh my God. And she absolutely loves Jeeps. But she's been using this Bronco a couple of times, and she told me flat out, she goes, this thing rides great. She goes, it drives great. Doesn't beat you up. She goes, it's so smooth. So I've been trying to tell you. So we want to get into some of these Jeep. I want to get into some of these Jeep events, and I just can't bring myself to buy a Wrangler or TJ or any of that shit. And I do not like the Cherokees. A lot of guys love the Cherokees. And here's my reason why I don't like a Cherokee. It's a unibody constructed truck. So once you start really hammering on it and get it all twisted up, it's junk. It doesn't have a frame. I just can't get into, to me, they're throwaways. To me, it's like it breaks, you put it in the garbage, and you go on the shelf and pull another one off. To me, it's a piece of junk. Other guys have their own opinion, and that's okay. But I just don't like them. I don't like them. I've tried. I thought maybe I'll buy one, put a small block Ford in it. I just can't find anything. To me, they're uncomfortable. There's no room in them. I just don't like them. And I'm just not a regular Jeep guy. I'm not. But I do like the old Wagoneers, and I do like the old Jeep pickups. I've owned Wagoneers and Jeep pickups in the past, so I'm cool with the Jeep pickup. But what cracks me up is I'll be able to get into some of these Jeep events, and that J10 Jeep pickup is a full-size truck. It's the same size as my F-150. And Jeep guys are like, oh, you can't take that Bronco down the trail. But I can take that Jeep J10 down there? Oh, yeah. Makes absolutely no sense. So, I'm going to get this Jeep, and we're going to go to Jeep events. We're going to do some of these Jeep events they have on the beach and other things, and we're going to use that J10. The other J10 that I bought, it's got lift springs and stuff in it, so I'm going to rob the springs out of it and put them in this one that I'm going to buy tomorrow. If I buy it tomorrow, I'm hoping that it's not a toilet, and we can make a good deal on it. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll bring you guys along. We'll do some videos. Hopefully we can make a deal on this truck. I do know the truck has a little bit of rust in the rear frame rail. He did tell me that. That's why he gave me a number on the truck, and I'm kind of like, not if it's got rust in the frame rail. But what's cool is there's a guy around the corner that's cut up a couple Jeep J10 pickups, and he's got a frame for sale on Marketplace. Really cheap, couple $100. So if I buy this J10 tomorrow, I'm going to run out and buy that frame so I can cut the sections I need out. I'm not going to put a whole frame under the truck. I'm just going to put in what it needs. I'm not looking to restore it because we're going to wheel this thing. We're not going to destroy it, but we're going to wheel it. We're going to put it on the beach. It is what it is. Just like this thing. We're not going to paint this truck. We're going to wheel this truck. This truck is going to be on the beach. This truck's going to do some trail riding. So we're not going to spend money on paint. We're going to leave the clear peeling off. This is a ratty lifted truck. That's the new theme. Ratty lifted trucks. Leave them ratty, but make them run like a scalded dog. So look, Holler at your boy. Keep it reals. Catch me on the next one.